Hello. I am making a short little video to, not show off my builds per se, because nothing I'm about to show is going to be impressive by, like, actual build standards. Really just making this video for myself as a record of, definitely I think the most I've ever built in Minecraft. Formerly, I've only really been functional about it, like, you know, get my house done and move on. And we might be changing the server to something else, so, you know, I just want to be able to come back and reminisce now and then. At least about the church. Probably not so much my house. But, since I'm here, I'll start with it. This is... My personal area, I think, is the only thing I did fully in survival. Because my standards for the server was if I was just doing it for me, I'd do it survival, but if it was something for the whole community, I'd use creative. Not like this Joker. He used creative for his house. Well, this is just our mailboxes. And then, obviously, I themed my house after Team Rocket, this being a Pixelmon server. We didn't finish designing the interior. We do have a little kitchen. And this fridge that's going to be perpetually open because I have yet to successfully close a fridge. Other people walk by and do it so effortlessly, and they tell me how to do it, and I try to do it, and it doesn't happen, and I don't get it. But anyway, upstairs we have the bedroom, and then this is a little landing pad if you come in, you know, on a Pidgeot or whatever. Somebody left the doors open like an animal, probably me. And this is my little spy window. And then in the basement, this was built on a hill, so I just like hollowed out the hill and then slathered it in wood, is our berry farm. And I was going to use the central area to like breed Pokemon, but I would really only be able to fit like one central ranch in here. So it's just kind of unused for the moment. I was still trying to figure out what to use for that space, and I guess now it probably won't matter. So over this away, we have the lovely hot springs pool, which I appreciate much more because I would not die if I fall into it. This is a little communal farm that we were both sharing. This is the Restata stop. This was here before the houses, and it was just a little spot where you could stop and rest your Pokemon, take a little soak before you continued on your Pokemon journey. And then I just started kind of living out of this area. I just had a big line of boxes here before I made the house. This is my ranch. Got some abbers going. I caught fucking, like, I feel like at least 60 abra trying to get the hidden ability. So far, to no avail. Got some scythers going. This was my original berry farm before I moved into the basement down there. And then I've got these just for wool, I think. And I set up another spot, but I never actually used the fourth one. I wanted to breed the ultimate Rattata. And then down here was my AFK walking spot, which I just made a movement pad and then added water. So over here is probably the best build I've ever done. This was a dual effort of 2 people. Myself and Pi. It is a church to his mighty Bidoof. Inside, of course, we have the main worship room. We've got the chapel over yonder. Not the chapel. the choir over yonder. I wonder if anybody has left any bidons. Oh, there's a lot of crap in here. There's a letter. What does the letter say? I adore you, oh great Bidoof. Blessed be. So, up in the back... Oh, well, let's go this way first. We have the confessional, of course. I was happy with that little corner. Up this way. Why am I like skipping up the stairs? That's interesting. You can get up into the rafters, and then if you continue going up, you get to the bell tower. I was very proud of my choice of bell. And from here you can survey the lands. My distance is too short to actually see my house, but that's okay. There's the Poke Center, and we'll get to that giant floating island in a minute. But first, I want to show you the best part of the chapel, which is the secret basement. It was very fun as different people of the server eventually found it and reacted. I don't think there's really anything back here. Yeah, it's just nothing. Oh, I don't think I really like properly showed off my. I'm not in creative. I should have been in creative. Who shows off a build in survival? But this is the Bidoof statue I handcrafted. So that door I was going to go down just leads to the employee kitchen. And then we have our main dining area down here. If you continue over here to the left, we've got the daycare. With a lovely selection of teddy bears available. And then this way is the path for the true believers. So first you have to go through a small labyrinth. And then you descend. The path is nice and long, so you have time to, you know, consider your faith and your service to Doof. And once you're finished with that... One second. Once you're finished with that... This was originally a hidden door, and then over here, like one of these torches would be a switch. But then I couldn't get it to really work with two different switches. Like one of them, so that when you use it, it would open and you could go through and then use it and it would close. Like it just, I don't know, the two different switches were weird. I don't remember the specifics of it anymore. But in here, we have the real worship room, not that fake altar upstairs. Oh, interesting. Somebody left some diamonds. That wasn't part of the build. This one's so tiny. I love him. Interestingly, the Bidoofs do actually sacrifice themselves. Sometimes they get in fights with each other. So that worked out better than expected. Oh, and I'll show you the real secret that I think only one other person has seen. Oh, if you're wondering about my hand, my character is an Agumon. That was just my little bit of rebellion against Pokemon. Okay, so we go into the kitchen. From the consumer side, you have to kind of flip the lever through a window. Oop, I had a bit of lag there, I think. Because, you know, it's employees only. So, over here. The button's not very subtle, but weirdly, I've seen people walk straight past without really taking note of the button. So, a little bit about me you should know is that my favorite Pokemon is Rattata. And so this is my little personal worship room. And then I used that teleport pad as a workaround for the hidden door, which in hindsight I should have set up down there in the Bidoof worship room, but that thought only occurred to me after the build. Oh, I've got a little alcove up there. So up here we have Proud Papa's Poke Central. This Giddy did. I think he might have used a plan that he got off the interwebs, but either way, it looks very nice. We've got our trade center on the right, and then the main healing station on the left. Well, on the front. And then I got tired of having to run all the way back into the actual town, which is on the other side of that wonderful Rattata statue. So I added on... It was a real challenge because I had very little space to use. But I made a little mini Poke Center. Those are just some of my favorite Gen 1 Pokemon up there. And then a little garden to make this window look better. Like, this is exactly as big as it can be without going into this guy's room. So I was happy with how that turned out. Like, it's very basic, but I spent a lot of time trying to make it look decent within the size constraint. Now over here, we have the elevator to take us up to the floating island that is our Pokemon Stadium. Now, if you are wondering why I call it the elevator... Ah! Why? Oh. Sure. If you're wondering why I call it the elevator, as I was saying, if you go too low, you find this. But if you go the right way... I like leaving creepy little Easter eggs for other players to find, I guess is my thing. We have the Rattata Dome. To start with, out here in the gardens, well, I could have sworn this used to be a walkway, and it's been closed off, weirdly, but okay. So Giddy set up a garden over here on the left, and he asked me to set one up on the right. That turned out very different. He did this lovely tree swing, which is very, very serene and nice. And then I instinctively was going to switch to my knife to run faster, because I've been playing Valorant, and this is most definitely not Valorant. He also set up these really cool fountains, which I think were also recipes. So this is the Boss Stantler Tea Party. Somebody brought a Mr. Mime in here. I had to shut that down, if you're wondering about that sign. So this is just a nice little picnic of some of my favorite Pokemon. These are some of my favorites from Gen 1. Well, not the Pinsir's not one of my favorites, but I couldn't pick a last Pokemon to put in, so I asked somebody else for a suggestion, and they picked Pinsir. Also, Charmander's huge. Like, I think I even might have shrunken him, and he's just big. And then over here are some of my favorite starters from all the other generations. That wasn't my original intention. It was just going to be favorite Pokemon from other generations, but then so many of them wound up being starters, I decided to roll with it. Snivy also surprisingly big. It looks like I definitely favor water a little bit. I see 4 water, and then 3 of the other 2 types. So, on the inside... Oh, this turned out to be a huge Clefairy spawner. The ground was originally grass, and when you walked in, there would just be like 80 Clefairy around. But then we flipped it to wood, and it became less of a problem. So, let me fly for this. This was incredibly painstakingly set up, just the mechanics of getting this to work. Because like when you throw out a Pokemon, if you start a fight, it usually like teleports back to you. So we set up these stands where when it tries to teleport back to you, it will instead land on these pads and get thrown back into the ring, so that when 2 people fight, you know, their Pokemon will actually be in the ring and it will look like a real fight. And we figured out the exact distance as well that these can be where it'll work. Like, originally this was going to be one huge arena, but there was just no way to get the Pokemon together. So instead, we set it up as 5 small arenas. And then this is just kind of a generic situation. But then each one of these has a different theme. This is the classic arena, inspired by the Viridian Forest. The stands are a Caterpie and a Pikachu. I set up this one, so I'm proud of it. Although honestly, it wasn't anybody's favorite. I think it was, even compared to just the plain one, the least favorite. This is supposed to switch between red, green, and blue, but like after a while, it winds up breaking and just becomes this lovely mud color. So I'd have to go down and reset that before, like, every time people are going to be up here. This is the Crypt Arena, which each one is supposed to represent specific types. Getting all 18 types within 5 arenas, with the middle one just being normal. So this one was Poison, Psychic, Ghost, and Dark. Just all the, the creepy ones. I have these nice little Cyclops snake statues. This was Giddy's build, as an aside. And then the inside's got some, what are those called? Graves, that's the word. And this big, like, central fountain piece. He went a little bit crazy, I think, with all the glass and webs. But I think it looks good. And then I added a little escape door. Oh, I've been caught down here just because somebody fell in and got trapped. Over here, this is the Grit Gym, I think was the name for this one. It was Fighting Rock and Ground, I believe. He went for a kind of classical Greek, I think maybe Atlas. Like holding up the world kind of theme here. And then finally, we have the, I think, Horizon Arena, which is everything to do with sky. I think dragon, flying, ice, and then maybe one more is in there. I'm not sure what I'm missing. Sorry about the barking. Oh, that one was fire, grass, water, and then I guess electricity was also put in there, given a Pikachu's there. So this one, I mean, this one might not look very impressive, but you have to take into account that the mountain was a part of the build and not actually a natural formation. At which point, I think it looks very nice. Oh, a chair got left behind. This was just from spectators while a tournament was going on. And then I put in exactly one stadium light. It was supposed to be a prototype, and then somebody else was going to fill in the rest, and they never did, and I never did either. So, yeah, just the one. And I think that's everything. We have, this was, I was planning on making a little dugout down here for people to use to, get snacks and heal their Pokemon and whatnot, but I wasn't ready before the first tournament. So I just did a soft open where I, quickly filled in the walls. And then I never came back to make it look good. I had put in this, like, stained glass Pokeball on the floor, but I don't really love it. So honestly, I think if I came back to this, I would just start from scratch. There was much debate about the doors as well, because it was originally all just, normal sized doors. But I was upset because you couldn't ride your Pokemon in. And, like, it's a Pokemon Stadium. You should be able to ride in on your cool Pokemon. So we compromised where there's a big door and 2 little doors. And then this Rattata statue was by Dexter, who honestly, I don't think Dexter ever came on again after making the Rattata statue. I guess he got burnt out. I'll go ahead and show. This was very much Giddy's love child here. He spent a lot of time working on the house while everybody else was just off adventuring right at the start. You can see a little empty space here that was also due to the I want to ride my Pokemon into the house argument. So we've got the, oh, well, okay. We've got the central, I should have turned off my compass in hindsight before starting this. The central room here. There's this creepy straw statue thing that reminds me of like a Blair Witch scenario kind of thing, but up the stairs on the right is my original room. And then I wanted to expand it out just to have a little more room for storage, but you'll notice if we go backward, oh, we're in somebody else's room. And like, there wasn't even really any purpose to this. It's just a big stone hallway. Like, that could have easily been over here, which here's the other side of my room. And then that I could have made an overhang, I guess, over the front yard. That would have been the best option. Up is the Pokemon Center, down is Morehouse. So I felt cornered, you know, and so I moved out to form Team Rocket. Actually, I guess that was mine and Giddy's room, because I don't think he has a room just for himself. Through the Litten, there's like a little secret bar area up here. And then, in a little weird bit of architecture, very video gamey, honestly. You go up one stair to the second floor, go all the way to the other side of the house to get to the next stairwell, over which there is a, you know, nice balcony. And this leads you right up into the Poke Center / Mart. Very convenient. And then over here, we have a couple houses from other members of the town. Oh, last time I was here, this did not have the stone detailing on it. It was all just wood, classed up. Oh, that's a Bidoof. I left him after the church started. Some lovely Viscera hanging on the wall. And then I'm not honestly sure whose house this is, but it's very fancy. And everybody else built their house farther away. We have one that's... How do you fast fly? There we go. There it is. Oh, this place has expanded a bit too. Wow, yeah, the farm was not nearly this developed last time I came out here. And I don't know that they had 2 ranches either. These are mushroom blocks. I don't know if they had a second floor either last time I was here. Oh, I thought somebody was staring at me, but it's just a set of armor. And then over on the other side of town, we have the original berry farm for making Pokeballs. Not berries. What the fuck are they called? Apricorn. Oh, this got fancy. It's double wide and it's got like 3 different textures going on. Yeah, okay, so he definitely just moved into his mine on a permanent basis. Retrieve Pokemon. Oh, hello. Only half full. Pathetic. Oh, he's got his home shrine to Bidoof. Okay, so I think that's about all the builds near home. Unless, again, I do not seem to have Ethan's situation saved. Unless I can just happen to find it on the map, maybe. Because his town is super cool. Oh. This is where he was testing the world edit thing. And just made a giant... Well, first he accidentally completely eclipsed the ocean in dirt, but he also made a big stone globe, essentially. Ooh, ooh, is this it? This could be it. Okay. Oh god. Can I adjust the height of this? Oh, this is slightly better, but not a whole lot. Okay, we're free. Oh, just barely, though. So this is Ethan's town. He did a really cool thing where it's like a mix of underground and open air, just kind of cutting through the mountain. And even like set up NPCs with dialogue. So up here, this is still blocked off. Okay, I guess he never finished. He didn't want people to come in while it was under construction. Gonna peek through the window though. So, and then down here, I don't know if he finished down here either. Supposed to throw something on the plate. Where did that go? I lost it. Oh, okay. Ah, got it. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, goodness gracious. There are a lot of buttons. So this is new for me. Last time I came here, all he had set up was the stairs. It's so little. Is he running from me? I'm not gonna hurt you, little guy. So, he's got a little Yunon temple down here. There's a Charmander here. Honestly, what I've noticed from the time I've hung around his place is that the mountains are a great place to find starters. Like there are Rowlets all over the place as well. Ah, crap. I was gonna catch this Charmander, but I don't have my, my Scyther with me. False swipe it. I also caught 2 legendaries over here. Just from the small amount of time I hung out to check out his build. Yeah, so that's our, Pokemon world. And that just turned. Did you see that up there? That statue moved. So like I said at the beginning, compared to like people that do big fancy shit, this might not be much, but I mean, I'm proud of what we did regardless and had a lot of fun doing it. And I just wanted, there's also a Bidoof stained glass out here. It's a little hard to see when the actual Bidoof is behind it, but if I get a little bit of a side shot, it's clearer. I just wanted a record of it in case I never see it again. I was about to say, good night, Twitch. Thanks for hanging out, but this is not a stream. I'm not used to just making a video. Farewell.